So in other words, someone that has reached such a high level cannot reach all the way down, because if he does that, then he's saying that his position wasn't that quite credible, isn't it? You see? And people don't do those things. They prefer to die. You don't do that. It's like a country in power giving up the power to another. That doesn't happen. You have to fight it. You have to win it with war. So that is what's going on. And what is going on for me is that when I set out in front of the Supreme Court, I told them that there's only one disease. And that disease is what? Mucus in the system. Turn to pus. And I come, cleanse it out, and then revitalize the cells. This has been argued, this methodology, right here in Philadelphia. Her name is Zadia Ife. I don't know who here knows Zadia. Raise your hands. She's from right here. Zadia had myasthenia gravis. Degeneration of the cells of the brain. The doctor said she would never walk again normally, and that she would progressively get worse. 6 months after the treatment, Zadia was walking normally. And Zadia told me a story a month ago in Los Angeles that they had cut her thymus gland out, but it grew back. So when we talk about cell regeneration, a gland grew back. She's writing a paper on it right now as we speak. How was all this accomplished? It was accomplished because truth was in front of my eyes, and I was able to identify truth. Not that I'm the owner of truth. No, I'm a servant of truth. The best, I could say. So we clean the cells, whether you have leukemia, sickle cell anemia, whatever disease. It is mucus concentrated to cause that disease. So how could all these diseases be cured by just giving everyone the same compound? Well, common sense. We go away from philosophy. Put philosophy away. And just look at reality and God, that which is natural. And we find that it's very simple. It's very easy. You stop eating the garbage to begin with. But now, as we begin to think about the garbage that bring the disease in the first place, that brought the disease in the first place, then we begin to question, are we qualified to leave the garbage? It's like going home this evening. And you say, when we open that refrigerator, now Dr. Sebi said that this, all this is bad. Now what are we going to do? What are you going to eat? We don't know. We don't know. But what we did know, what we do know now, that stuff in the refrigerator was not made by God, and that it was not made for us. This is why our brothers and myself, we brothers, suffer with prostate cancer, prostate inflammation, nerve problem, impotence, and a whole bunch of other stuff very young. Then we begin to hide our disease like it is ours, like no one else should know about this, because this is embarrassing to even talk about it. No. When I was impotent, I cried out loud, "Hey fellas, I'm impotent, who could help me?" Because I don't have that thing they call shame. Sisters too. Many times I sit with you sisters and I ask, do you have vaginal discharge? Well, sometimes. No, it's all the time. It's all the time. But there again, that's not yours either. That's the food that was afforded to you. In the Supreme Court, I asked the judge, if God made food special for gorillas, special for polar bears, special for orangutans, special for birds, and not all birds eat seed, some eat snakes and meat. So if God made specific food for specific animal, God made also specific food for plants. This is a burdock leaf. You appeal to burdock for what? For iron. You don't appeal to burdock for magnesium. magnesium is in trace mineral here, but iron is predominant. So there's a food for this plant. So I asked the judge, well, if the plant, the animal, the birds has specific food that feed their cells, what about Homo sapiens? Are we exempt from that natural cosmic law? She said, no. I said, well, when you removed the Africans from Africa, did you bring his food with him? She said, no. So you see, so when you said that I like my ham, that's not your ham. That's not your chicken. That's not your biscuits. That is something that we have been conditioned to eat. And because we have been conditioned to eat those things, it makes love difficult to come out. When I talk to my wife about, girl, what's wrong with you? You know, it's never a situation where it is always pleasant, regardless to what happened. And I suppose that once upon a time I was there, but I don't remember being there after 30. And after 30 was when I began to, a lot of children was born to me. I think about 15 of them. So I began to compare myself as a father before this change with these herbs, this health that I'm experiencing now. As I go back into my life, I remember once picking up a belt, but I don't remember if I hit the child or not. But I do know this, that all of my children from 30 until 65, I don't even think about raising a belt. But you see, there was a change in the house. With me, there was a new wife in which she came up with me, and there was no milk in the house. There was no cheese, there was no butter, there was no eggs, and there was no breakfast. My son told me the other day that 19 years he is now gone by, and that he's going to sue me because he will sue me for child abuse, because in his 19th year he never had a breakfast. See, we just didn't have breakfast. It was easy. So the children that came up in that environment just grow up, and they're free children. And I'm going to mention one of them, go on. Her name is Nia. She is the daughter of a friend of mine in Los Angeles. And as I talk about Nia, I'm seeing my 4-year-old daughter and another one in Chicago named Mariama. These 3 little girls has something in common. They sucked their mother's breast for 4 years. Nia, when she's 3 now. You ask her, Nia, how old are you? I'm 3 years old. I was born in 1996, the 30th of May. What else you want to know? We take Nia to Oakland. Carelessly, we walk into the store, and this woman said, you're so cute. Such a beautiful little girl. And Nia is very beautiful. She hands the beautiful little girl a candy. And Nia said, I don't eat that. That's against my diet. 3 years of age. All right? My daughter's the same way, and Mariama is even worse. I could go anywhere with these 3 little girls. I won't have no problem. And what they had is that all 3 of them stopped using the bathroom in their diaper at age 1. Why? They didn't have those things that makes a child weak, that interferes, that brings disease. Most babies pass feces in the diapers even when they are 3 years of age. Not these 3. So I intend to go to Honduras in a couple of days. I'm going to go back to Los Angeles to take my little girl with me that she could see Nia, because Nia sent her a picture. They want to know each other's. Now, these 3 little girls are the example of what we have to do that I didn't receive when I was a child. Look at the journey. The journey is beautiful. If I, Sebi, at 30, being impotent with diabetes, weighing 291 with glasses, and I was able to retrieve my life from that age until now, all of us in this church could do it this evening.